All right, so first I wanted to thank everybody for being here to talk about sweat in our design conference. So I wanted to talk about the heart of this play is telling the real stories of real people, major events that happened in America's history that affected almost every single person that's going to be in the audience. So on that note, the scale of realism that I think is appropriate for this play is somewhere around a 2 or a 3. There's no real way to separate the fact that this is a play from the audience. But I think it's really the connection to the audience that is important in this play. There's a theme of each character wanting to be better than they are or wanting more than they have. And I think it's very important to just feel how high stakes these jobs are for these people's lives and knowing that without these jobs, that core want of more puts everybody in jeopardy. So as far as dramatic circumstances go, the primary location is the bar that these people go to almost every night after their shift. It's a place of refuge for them. So in the way that it should feel, I think sort of a break from their mundane lives at work. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, it also sort of adds to the never-ending routine that these people have. By going to the bar, they're inadvertently adding to the sort of monotony that they have built for themselves in this life. So I would like to think of the bar as in a worn-in boot. It's lived in, casual, comfortable, and I get that idea from a lot of different areas, but specifically when Cynthia, talking about one of her friends, says, "Do you get a load of what she's wearing? It looks like her prom dress." I get this idea that this is not a place that you dress up for. It's a very casual and lively place for these people. So the style, I think originally maybe the initial idea for this play would have been something very connected to the audience. I think you probably wouldn't need a very large set to connect to them. I think there's a sense of like personal connection with everybody on the stage and then to the outward audience. And this might include a closer proximity to each other, both the actors on stage and sort of a forced closeness with the audience to really be connecting to them and getting them to really understand how this story connects to real life. And so I wanted to talk a little bit too about the old world versus the new world, or the old routine versus how the story ends. The way the story begins is a monotonous, rundown, tired feeling. Everything is the same. How do we get things to change? And in this new world where people have been clawing to get better for themselves or better material items, and how that shapes out in each individual story is a little bit different, but it still feels a little rough around the edges. But there's sort of an idea of hope that even though you feel isolated, you're not alone. And so that's sort of the initial ideas that I'm playing with for Sweat. And with that, I'd love to open up the floor for a conversation with everybody else. Thank you so much.